Hey guys, happy Friday. Welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time you're watching New York Real Zoom, this is Olive Hui and I'm with Becky Walsh. Becky is an intuition expert. She has written this book that I love so much called You Do Know, Learning to Act on Intuition Instantly. New York Real's slogan is the act of finding out. Welcome back again to Friday. So we have a really interesting conversation from Monday to Thursday. Today we're going to talk about how to raise your value, your game, and stepping into power.
Yeah. And it's slightly controversial because I'm going to start by saying, and this is like, what? So I'm aware I have a tendency for mass generalizations, okay, so you need to forgive me for this. But I get this feeling that a lot of women raise their value by lowering their price. So what I mean by that is, like, as women, we love a bargain. I know I love a bargain. So there seems to be the sense that if we give value for money, then we are of value personally. And of course, that's a little bit different from the way that guys tend to show up in business, which a guy tends to believe that, on the other hand, the way that they value things are the more difficult something was to get, the more of value it was. So the more sought after it was, or the more expensive it was, the more value it is. So what this has to do with intuition is the fact that I think we've got to stop thinking about getting paid for our hours, you know, the time that we are spending doing something, so that we get paid more from our skills and our hours. But also you can use your intuition to actually really work out what someone needs to pay. And what I mean by that is, for some people, they need to pay a small price because they really don't have the money for it and they can't prioritize you. Like, for example, you know, if you've got a, my dog's going to jump up again. If you're going to pay for root canal, you're going to pay for a root canal, and you need to prioritize spending a large amount of money on dentistry. Then that's how much it costs, and that's what you need to pay for. Whereas it might be that you don't pay for, like, for example, I'll happily pay for somebody's meal, and then I will end up like walking home in the rain rather than calling a taxi, because I prioritised paying for someone else's meal over paying for a taxi because it's raining. So we all have different ways in which we pay for things. So some people want to pay a lot of money for something because they have a perceived value out of it. So therefore they enjoy it more. They get a bigger enjoyment hit from it, a happy hit from it, than they would if they paid very little for it. So if someone can pay for something and they want to pay for it, they should be given the opportunity to pay for it. The opposite being true, if someone can't pay for something because they really can't afford it, then it's up to you whether or not you want to give them that service for that lower price. Now, obviously, I'm giving all of this, but this isn't what I do in my own business. Like, I have my prices on my website. Everything is really transparent and really clear. But I think that when we are looking at value, our own personal value, and how that translates to what we get paid, I think that women seem to still have this sort of like mental block around what value really means. Like, so that we want to be of value sometimes means that we cheapen ourselves, which of course it's kind of crazy, because I think even women value what they pay for as well. It's just that when we think about, you know, because women value what they pay for, but when we think about our values for ourselves, we seem to want to make ourselves a bargain.
Are you saying that by lowering the price, the rate, then we think that people will be coming to use the service more?
Yeah, because they value us. That we have this perception, not everybody, but there's a perception that if I am to be of value, then I want to be super affordable so that people will like me more because I was super affordable.
Okay, gotcha.
But actually, it discredits the thing that we're selling. So, I mean, obviously, we're talking about almost like coaching or personal services here, but actually, we're talking about anything we create, whatever it is that you're creating, has a perceived value for the buyer, but we take it personally. We take that value for the thing that we have created to be a personal thing. So then, therefore, we want to be able to create something that makes somebody goes, oh, that person was so nice. They sold me this at this. And it's like, but is the thing nice? You know, does that make them value what it is that they bought? It's just interesting.
It's so like the price tag that you put on yourself. in your work?
Is to passively put on yourself. So I think when you're using your intuition for sales, firstly, intuitively, when we're looking at business, I think that intuition is superbly important in business. Have you ever had a conversation where someone's trying to sell you something and you really clearly don't want it? It doesn't fit what you need. And they keep going on about the values of this thing, but those values are not a fit for what it is that you need. You just feel like saying, just shut up and listen to what I'm actually saying. I'm actually saying this doesn't work for me, but you're continuing to sell it to me. Like, I used to have a job selling ice cream to shops that sold ice cream, so business to business. And I remember this guy saying to me, look, you're lovely and you're very convincing, but once my freezer is full, it's full. You know, and you know, it's like, I don't need any more ice cream. So you can't sell me ice cream if I don't need it. And I think that we waste a lot of time. I mean, I certainly did in that job, trying to convince someone with a full freezer to buy something that they really didn't need. And I think that this happens in business all the time. We waste so much time talking to the wrong customer and talking to the wrong person who really just actually doesn't need what it is that you've got. And there's no point trying to convince them that they do, because they really don't. Intuitively, when we listen with our intuition, we know who to sell to, how it's going to be of benefit to them, how we can therefore be of benefit to them, and also the price that it is good for them to be able to pay because of what they need to pay to be able to get the best out of that particular thing. So so this is why I want to I do enjoy teaching, and I want to teach more people in business how to be able to use their intuition, so that we don't end up just like shouting to the world and not being heard by it.
I think this is related to thinking about who your target audience or clients are, because everyone knows if you're trying to be everything to everyone, you end up being nothing to no one, because you're trying to please everybody. How do you find your target audience?
Yeah, it comes down to what problem is the thing that you are selling serving. So is the problem, I'm bored, it's an entertainment product, so what problem is what you are selling serving? And to me, I kind of take that into a personal level, like, what was I born to do? Like, what problem did I decide to incarnate into this world to fix? So what do my skills, my personal skills, my personality, everything that I've gone through my entire history, what am I the answer to? Because I'm the answer to something for somebody. So what am I the answer to?
Yes.
So I look at that in this really unique way, which is, what don't I like about human beings? And, or what don't you like?
I remember telling you on the subway, I hate knowing that we all live in the same city, but people are so wrapped up in their own world, they don't talk, and they just on their phones. And this isolation really bothered me. And I remember telling you that I hope someone will be like, hey guys, we're going to be stuck on this train car for 30 minutes. How about let's introduce ourselves? Like, what do you need? Can we offer someone something? And then there's like a student here and, maybe meeting a counselor, and I'm a coach, I'm a life coach. I'll help you out. And maybe someone need a lawyer, a doctor, like people on the same train car, I believe, can solve many problems within
half an hour. Oh my God, completely. Completely. But the reason why we don't do that, I mean, partly because, I'd say how it manifests, why we don't do it, is selfishness. So if we were to turn selfishness on its head and say, okay, well, why are people selfish? So if we assume that everything is a call for love, what is selfishness calling for? And it's really calling for like some kind of acknowledgement, like, what about me? I'm not considered, nobody considers me, so I'm not going to give what I've got to anyone else because nobody gives me anything. So the call for love is, see me, witness me, somebody give me something. So then in your analogy of the tube train, you've got all of these different people asking to be seen and no one's looking. So everyone's saying, see me, see me, see me. And of course, what you've just created there is the antidote when you feel like you're not being seen, is to give yourself away. Is when you give yourself away, people see you, because everybody who's screaming, see me, when you see them, they see you. So there's all of these people who are just saying, I can't be seen, so I'm not looking at anyone. When it's like, well, actually, if you did the one thing that you're trying to receive, then it would make the difference. So for me, if I'm trying to sell a product or I'm trying to sell my services, I'm asking what am I the answer to? So if the thing that I hate about the world is not being seen, is that people are selfish, it's like, okay, so how can I be able to see somebody? Which you've just answered it yourself. I stand on the tube and I say, hey, everybody. So this is an awkward conversation, but I'd like to just ask, I have a particular skill set. Is there anyone that I can help for free? I've got half an hour, And of course, the reason why we don't do that is because we think that everyone is going to think we're an idiot and we're going to be seen being an idiot. So we don't do it, because what's worse than not being seen badly. So therefore, we don't do that kind of thing. And that is is one of the greatest crux with humanity. And this is the antidote to that is your intuition, because you can intuitively look at everyone on the train and go, right, who's the person that I need to help? And, in one of the earlier days of the week, we were talking about that compulsion of talking to somebody like there's a connection.
Yeah.
That's where that really comes in, because you suddenly see that person, you feel a connection, and then all you really have to do is like maybe sit next to them on the tube, strike up a conversation. It unfolds why you were meant to meet that person. So when you become, again, we're back to the old curiosity, the thing that opens up your heart-led intuition, you become curious. You see who you can help. You see who you can engage with. And then that fear of looking like an utter idiot kind of subsides with the curiosity of, I know I'm meant to speak to that person. I don't know why, but I know it's them. And as the good doctor, as in Doctor Who, so I'm a bit of a Doctor Who fan, Doctor Who said about his time-travelling assistants, he said, I don't know why, I only know who. So he would know who would invite onto the TARDIS, but he wouldn't know why. And then, like in episodes such as The Impossible Girl, you suddenly realise why, because in all honesty, usually Doctor Who's assistants teach Doctor Who more about humanity and what it is to be human than he teaches in the episode.
Yeah.
So it's very true. I don't know why, I only know who. And I think that is a very good adage for when we know that there is a person that we're supposed to meet and we meet them. We don't know why, but we do know who.
So on October 29th, 2016, now I think about it, I know why I have hosted this event with 3 other ladies in New York City. We had the biggest eye contact experiment. Like at the time, I just thought in New York, we need to do this. Like, I don't know if anyone's hosting. I'm just going to host it. So we were in Bowling Green Plaza. We have a permit. People can gather. We had no idea how many people were going to show up, but we did it. And that day, it was wonderful because I didn't have any expectation. And we open up the plaza. People come by, they see the big sign that says, where has human connection gone? They sit down, or you can stand in front of somebody, a stranger, and have eye contact for 1 minute. And you just look at each other's eyes with no agenda. And people were crying, people were laughing. And I remember being really touched by seeing that in New York City, because we're too busy to connect, and just running up to someone and giving them a big hug, not knowing who they are. We might never see them again, but that is something that I crave and I look forward to have, that human connection. Now I think that might be the answer to what I dislike, what bothered me in the world, like on the train, that people are not connecting.
You were the antidote to it. You completely just did it. You absolutely did it. And I think, I've done that staring thing and I fall in love. Like I fall in love within a minute. Like just when you're staring into somebody's soul, I fall in love. And then they go and that was it. But it's like a minute of love. And that's why people cry or laugh. You laugh because you feel uncomfortable. You're like, this is awkward. And then, but it's just, if you just stop your brain chatter and you just stare, you fall in love. You can't help but fall in love with a complete stranger. It's amazing.
And in a way, you see yourself from that person's eyes too.
Yeah, you do. Especially when someone's just looking at you unconditionally. They don't want anything. They're not looking at you because they want something. They're looking at you to look at you. And it's really at first. And then when you actually really sit with that, because you always feel like there's an agenda or an objective. And when someone's just looking at you to just look at you without any agenda or objective or need, it's like being seen by the eyes of God. It's pretty cool.
Personally, I'm very grateful to have you as a friend and a guest on my show. And you have impacted my life so much. I told you, if not because you encouraged me to listen to The Right Brain, I wouldn't have gone on tour with my band. I wouldn't think that we can have crowdfunding to raise money. Like, go to Europe. It costs like so much money. How can we do that? But it's like reverse engineering. And I'm really grateful for all the tools you've given me and excited to share it with my viewers. Becky, so thank you again for being on my show the second time. And this is the week of Becky Walsh. If you watch over and over, then it's the same week.
Well, thank you. No, thank you. Because it's just brilliant. Because, you know, like you write the book and you just hope that it's going to have some positive impact. And then you meet someone like you who turns around and says, "Yay, your book. I bought it for 7 of my friends." And I just go, "Oh, that's amazing." It's just, it is just really lovely. So thank you so much. I've always wanted to be one of those authors when people compliment them, they go, "Thank you." And I just can't. I'm like, really? And I shouldn't sound shocked. I love that. No, you've been great. You've been so amazing. You're the most perfect fan anyone could ever have. My only fan, but you're perfect. So thank you.
Thank you so much. So everybody, if you want to have a direct conversation with Becky, you can find her on beckywalsh.com. And you're on social media. You're pretty active on Twitter. And you have a Facebook page. Yes.
That's true.
Are you writing any new book?
No, not at the moment. No, I put a lot of attention into my online courses. So that was the last thing that I was doing. So I've been doing a lot of that. This is Akasha. So 2017 for me is going to be about TV stuff. So I'm really keen to do more TV work. A lot of my TV shows have gone out on YouTube, although they were on kind of like mainstream media in the UK. I really want to do some more TV stuff because I think it's a really great medium to get forward a lot of things. So I'm going to do some live streaming stuff as well because I think that that's really quite cool to do live stuff. Radio shows. I've got my Idea Sex podcast that's on iTunes at the moment. So I'm going to be doing more of that, which is exciting. So it's been more mainstream media than it's been books. I feel like a massive love, but the online courses have kind of like covered that writing bug that I always have that is just always bubbling under my skin.
I love it. I've taken your course, cool. Your last course. What courses are available now on your website?
So there's getting clear on your book idea. So that's about like if you know that you've got a book inside of you, but you're not clear on what the idea is. That's about helping you really formulate that. Then there's the one big calling, know your mission and do it. And that's for people who believe that they were born to do something in the world, but they can't figure out exactly what it is. That helps you figure that out. It
was an amazing course. I rewatched some of the videos because it's just like so full of light bulb moments.
And then I've got a free course as well, which is called the Listening Series, which is all about the different levels of intuition from your mind, your body, and your emotions, so your empathy. And that's free. So you go onto my website and you can just sign up for that really easily. And I've also got a really short mini course for people who want to set up a private practice but don't want to fall into any of the pitfalls. So that's there as well. So that's really cool. So that's the ones that are out there at the moment. It's very good.
Beautiful. Next time, we're going to get you here to New York City and for more intuition, insights, and stand-ups.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant. Yeah. I've done a few gigs in New York of my stand-up show before, so I can't wait to come back. American audiences are just brilliant. You all talk. You talk to each other and you talk to me. I love it. It's great.
Thank you so much, everybody. If you haven't, subscribe to New York Real channel. I have interviews with the best people in the fields. And I have New York Real Fit, where I take my viewers on a fitness journey. You never know which studio we're visiting next. And this New York Real Zoom is This is a pilot week. This is a brand new series. The CEO of Zoom, Eric, he loves the idea. Thank you for all your advice. That's it for this week. So,
Yay, thanks everyone.
Thank you and see you next time. Thank you for watching my conversation with Becky Walsh on New York Real Zoom. If you would like to have a one-on-one conversation with her, you can email her at becky@beckywalsh.com. Tell her you are a New York Realer because that will get you extra discount. Head over to her website, beckywalsh.com, to see what other services she's offering. During Becky Walsh Week, Monday we talk about the people that we're drawn to meet and how intuition can help us make more instant connection. Tuesday we talk about how we know what we know and why dyslexia can be a gift. Wednesday we talk about how we can spot a lie in this overwhelming world. Thursday we talk about reading your lover, how to use your intuition for a deeper sexual experience. Friday, we talk about raising your value, game, and stepping into your power. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you want to see more of my videos. Thank you so much for watching New York Real Zoom. I'm Olive Hui. See you next time.
Never gonna love without you. Never gonna fade away. Can we get this shit together?